Consider how much we tend to worry about anything. People get worried because of money, about grades, about job prospects, about relationships, and about life in general, wondering if they do enough. In today's competitive society, worry seems like a normal state of mind. For many individuals who are trying to achieve great success or earn more than others, even if they have achieved their goals, inner peace eludes them. People worry only when they trust something temporary. However, if they trust God and eternity, then they achieve freedom and peace of mind. Matthew 6:19-34 says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moss and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moss and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See the flowers of the fields grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But first, seek his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble on its own. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, but store up yourself treasures in heaven. Jesus starts off his teaching by going into the worldly way that we think. So many people devote their whole life to earning wealth, fame, and material objects, but none of these worldly possessions are eternal. They could be lost, stolen, or become useless. Jesus is telling us that once our trust lies in things which cannot last, we too will be forgotten. However, if we build up treasures of kindness, faith, love, and doing good for others, they will never die. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? In this passage, Jesus talks about our priorities and focus. The objects we choose to focus on determine the state of our hearts. Our lives will be filled with whatever we are consumed with. However, our hearts will reflect gratitude for God's goodness if we are focused on truth and thankfulness for God's blessings. The things that control our minds often dictate our paths. It is impossible to serve two masters. One must hate one and love the other, be devoted to one and despise the other. No one can serve both God and money. It is obvious that there can never be divided loyalties. The attempt to walk the path of faith while at the same time pursuing the acquisition of wealth or prestige cannot continue for long without becoming our master. In and of itself, money is not evil. However, when money becomes our identity and source of comfort, it assumes the position reserved for God. Jesus challenges us to choose who we serve. For this reason, I say to you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body what you shall put on. Isn't life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Why worry about what you have in the world when you can have so much more with the fruits the Lord has provided? Chapter 6 of Matthew teaches us that peace cannot be achieved through money, prosperity, or being preoccupied with the future. These things give an illusion of safety and comfort, yet they cannot bring true happiness. Peace comes from trusting God and appreciating eternal treasures. The Lord encourages believers to change their mindset, to trust Him, rather than fear the unknown, to find their purpose rather than seek material possessions, and to trust God, not worry about tomorrow. The message remains relevant for modern day Christians because in the era of capitalism, people get distracted by external factors and ignore God's calling. Thus, as you depart today, reflect on your priorities and motivations. The next day brings its own problems and challenges, but today you are free to trust God, feel His presence, and find inner peace. Thank you.